Have you ever walked into a room and felt a subtle shift in the atmosphere, a quiet distance forming, or noticed a tiny, almost imperceptible detail about someone that just, well, it made you pause? Or perhaps, have you ever caught a glimpse of yourself in a shop window and thought, is that really me? It's a bit of a tender subject, isn't it? Because as we journey through our later years, there are certain things, subtle things, that can start to creep into our lives, habits we might not even be aware of, but that others around us, our children, our grandchildren, even casual acquaintances, quietly notice. Nobody means to be unkind, and certainly, no one wants to hurt your feelings by bringing these up. So, these little observations often go unspoken, creating a tiny, invisible wall that prevents us from truly shining as brightly as we can. It's not about being judged, not at all. It's about unlocking the very best version of yourself. About stepping into your golden years with confidence, vibrancy, and a true sense of presence. Because these aren't character flaws. They're often just unconscious habits or physical changes that can be easily addressed once we know about them. In this video, we're going to bravely and gently look at 5 such patterns that often go unmentioned, yet can subtly impact how we're perceived and, more importantly, how we feel about ourselves. We'll explore practical, easy ways to reframe these tendencies, turning them from minor stumbles into steps towards a more joyful, engaged, and luminous you. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you, something that can truly transform your outlook on aging. Let's dive right into the first area we're going to explore, and it's something you might notice in others, or perhaps even in yourself, without fully realizing its impact. It's what I like to call the senior shuffle and the accompanying posture slump. Now, what do I mean by that? Think about it. Have you ever seen someone walking, perhaps a bit hunched over, their gaze directed firmly at the pavement, their steps small and hurried, with little to no swing in their arms? Or perhaps you felt yourself doing it, especially when you're a bit tired or feeling a little less robust. This isn't about judging anyone. It's about recognizing a common pattern that can quietly diminish our presence and even affect our safety. This particular habit, this way of moving, often conveys a sense of frailty, a lack of confidence, and can make us appear much older than we are, not to mention significantly increasing the risk of an unexpected tumble. Why does this happen? Well, it's a combination of things. As we age, our muscles naturally begin to lose some of their strength and elasticity. Our joints might stiffen. And sometimes, a little fear creeps in. A fear of falling, which paradoxically can make us walk more cautiously, but in a way that actually increases our risk. We start looking down, not out, and our balance can suffer. Our natural impulse to swing our arms when we walk, which is a key part of maintaining balance and forward momentum, might diminish. Before we know it, we're caught in a subtle cycle that makes us feel and look less vibrant. But here's the beautiful truth. This isn't an inevitable decline. This is entirely changeable, and the transformation can be truly remarkable. Let's talk about how to gently, yet powerfully, reverse this. The first step, like with anything, is awareness. Simply noticing how you walk, how you hold yourself, is half the battle won. So, try this the next time you're walking, whether it's to the kitchen, out to the garden, or on a short stroll. Consciously lift your gaze. Instead of focusing on your feet, try to look about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you. This simple shift immediately realigns your neck and shoulders, naturally pulling your posture upright. It's a small tweak, but the impact is immediate. You'll feel taller, more open, and less prone to that stooped position. Next, let's consider your shoulders. So many of us carry tension there, hunching forward, especially if we spend time sitting or looking at devices. Try a simple exercise. Gently roll your shoulders up towards your ears, then back and down. Imagine you're trying to touch your shoulder blades together lightly. This opens up your chest and encourages that confident, upright stance. Do this a few times throughout the day. especially when you catch yourself slouching. It's like a little reset button for your posture. Now, for that shuffle, the key here is to think about taking slightly longer, more deliberate steps, not huge strides that might throw you off balance, but just a little more extension than you might be used to. And as you step, encourage your arms to swing naturally by your sides. Imagine your arms are like pendulums, gently swaying in opposition to your leg movements. This natural arm swing is incredibly important for balance and makes your gait more fluid and energetic. If you find your arms feel stiff, try swinging them gently while standing in place for a minute or two, just to remind them of that natural motion. Incorporating specific exercises can also make a huge difference. Simple strengthening exercises, even done with light weights or just your body weight, can rebuild the core strength that supports good posture. Think about exercises that strengthen your back muscles, your core, and your leg muscles. A physical therapist or a qualified fitness instructor specializing in senior fitness can give you excellent guidance here. Even just walking more consistently, with conscious attention to your posture and arm swing, will gradually retrain your body. Remember, this isn't about being perfect. It's about making small, consistent efforts. Perhaps you set a little mental alarm for yourself every hour. For just 30 seconds, you stand tall, roll your shoulders back, and take a few conscious deep breaths, feeling your body align. Or maybe you make a pact with yourself that every time you walk across a room, you'll consciously think about lifting your gaze and swinging your arms. These small shifts compound over time, transforming that hesitant shuffle into a confident stride and that slump into an elegant posture. You'll not only look more confident and vibrant, but you'll feel it too. This renewed sense of physical ease and presence will open up new ways of engaging with the world around you. Now, while how we carry ourselves physically sends out a powerful message, there's another subtle aspect of our presence that often goes unspoken, something that relates to our personal presentation. Let's talk about something else that's often noticed but rarely mentioned, and it delves into the realm of our personal presentation, what I call the unspoken scent and appearance neglect. This isn't about vanity. It's about comfort, confidence, and respect for yourself and those around you. We've all been in situations where we've caught a faint, perhaps unfamiliar, scent from someone, or noticed that their clothing seems a bit neglected, perhaps ill-fitting, or just perpetually the same. Or maybe their hair hasn't seen a comb in a while. It's another one of those subtle cues that can create an unconscious barrier, making interactions feel a little less comfortable for everyone involved. Now, why does this happen? There are so many reasons, and none of them are about being uncaring or lazy. Sometimes, it's simply a matter of reduced mobility. Bathing becomes more challenging. Dressing can be difficult. And grooming feels like a monumental effort. For others, changes in metabolism or even certain medications can alter body odor in ways we don't realize. Sometimes, it's a symptom of a deeper issue, like depression, where the energy to care for oneself just isn't there. Or a gradual loss of self-worth sets in, making us think, who cares, I'm just staying home anyway. But the truth is, you care. And you should care, because how you present yourself directly impacts how you feel. The good news is, addressing this can be incredibly empowering and simpler than you might think. First, let's talk about hygiene. Regular bathing or showering, even if it's not daily, is essential. If mobility is an issue, consider installing grab bars in the shower, using a shower chair, or even exploring options like sponge baths or professional in-home care for assistance. Invest in gentle, pleasant-smelling soaps and deodorants. Pay attention to laundry. Clothes that are clean and fresh make a huge difference, and a simple sniff test before wearing can be a good habit. If you notice a persistent, unusual odor despite regular hygiene, please speak to your doctor. Sometimes, it can be a sign of a medical condition that needs attention, like certain infections or metabolic changes. Beyond hygiene, consider your clothing. It doesn't have to be expensive or high fashion, but comfortable, well-fitting, and clean clothes can instantly boost your mood and how you're perceived. Maybe it's time to declutter your wardrobe. getting rid of items that are worn out, stained, or simply don't make you feel good anymore. Think about a few key pieces that are easy to put on, wrinkle-resistant, and comfortable, but that also make you feel put together. Even a simple, fresh shirt or a neat pair of trousers can transform your outlook. And don't forget the power of simple grooming, keeping your hair neatly combed, perhaps a quick trim now and then. And for women, a touch of lip color, or for men, a clean shave or trimmed beard can do wonders. These aren't trivial acts. They are acts of self-care, declarations that you matter and are present in the world. When you feel good about how you look, it radiates outwards, making every interaction more pleasant and confident. Now, let's transition from how we present ourselves physically to how we interact and express ourselves verbally. This brings us to the third subtle habit, the echo chamber of grievances and resistance to change. Have you ever been in a conversation with someone where it feels like every other sentence is a complaint about aches and pains, about how things used to be better, about the rising cost of living, or about how confusing new technology is? It's not that these feelings aren't valid. Of course, they are. Life can present challenges, and it's natural to voice them sometimes. But when conversations consistently revolve around negativity, rigidity, and an unwillingness to embrace anything new, it can inadvertently create distance. People, even those who love you dearly, might start to subtly avoid those interactions, not because they don't care, but because a constant stream of negativity can be emotionally draining. This habit often stems from a place of fear or discomfort. Fear of the unknown, discomfort with physical changes, or simply finding comfort in the familiar past. It's easier to complain about a smartphone than to learn how to use it. It's easier to dwell on what's lost than to discover what's new. But staying in this echo chamber of grievances can truly limit your world and your connections. So, how do we gently shift this? The first step is mindfulness about your conversational patterns. Before you speak, just pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I about to complain, or am I about to contribute something positive, interesting, or new? It's a simple internal check. Of course, it's okay to share your struggles with trusted friends or family, but try to balance it with expressions of gratitude, curiosity, and engagement with the present moment. Make a conscious effort to find one thing to be grateful for each day, and perhaps even share it with someone. The sun is shining beautifully today, or I really enjoyed that cup of tea. Small moments of positive observation can reframe your entire outlook. Next, actively cultivate curiosity and an openness to new things. Instead of immediately dismissing new technology as too complicated, ask someone to show you how it works. You don't have to master it, but just learning a little can open up new possibilities, like video calls with grandkids or finding interesting content online. Try a new recipe, visit a new park, or read a book on a subject you know nothing about. Engage with the world around you, not just the world you remember. When someone talks about a new trend or idea, instead of immediately countering with, "That's not how it used to be," try saying, "Tell me more about that." This simple phrase signals openness and interest, inviting connection rather than shutting it down. Shifting from a complaining mindset to a curious and grateful one isn't just about how others perceive you. It profoundly impacts your own happiness and mental well-being. It transforms interactions from draining exchanges into invigorating connections. Now, from our verbal expressions, let's consider a quieter but equally impactful pattern, the subtle act of withdrawing. What I call the quiet disappearance, losing spark and connection. This brings us to the quiet disappearance, losing spark and connection. This isn't something overtly ugly in the way bad posture or grumpiness might be. Instead, it's a gradual fading, a slow withdrawal from the vibrant tapestry of life. You might notice it in someone who used to be active and engaged, but now seems to just exist. They stop pursuing hobbies, decline invitations, and their world shrinks to the four walls of their home. Their spark seems to dim, and while they might be physically present, their spirit seems to have quieted down, almost as if they're waiting for something, or nothing, to happen. This can be heartbreaking for those who love them, who yearn to see that light and engagement return. This quiet disappearance often comes from a deep well of emotions and experiences unique to later life. It could be the loss of a spouse or close friends, which leaves a profound void. It could be reduced mobility or chronic pain, making it difficult to participate in activities that once brought joy. Sometimes it's a fear of being a burden or a subtle slide into depression that saps all energy and motivation. We might convince ourselves that my time has passed or that there's nothing new for me. And this self-limiting belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But every single day is an opportunity to find new joys, new connections, and new purpose. Your spark is still there, waiting to be rekindled. How do we reignite that spark and reverse the quiet disappearance? The most vital step is to actively seek out connection and purpose. If physical limitations are a barrier, explore options for adaptive activities or virtual connections. There are online communities, virtual classes, and video calls that can bridge distances and connect you with others who share your interests. If loneliness is the culprit, reach out. Call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Join a local senior center, or look for volunteer opportunities that align with your passions. Even just a weekly coffee date with a neighbor can make a world of difference. Revisit old hobbies you once loved but let slip away. Did you used to paint, garden, read, or play an instrument? Pick it up again, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. The joy of engaging in something you love is incredibly restorative, if old hobbies aren't feasible. Explore new ones. Look for classes at your local library, community center, or even online. Learning something new, no matter how small, keeps your mind active and provides a fresh sense of accomplishment. Remember, you have a lifetime of wisdom and experience. There are so many ways you can share that, whether through mentoring, storytelling, or simply being present and engaged with your family and community. If you suspect depression might be playing a role, please reach out to your doctor or a mental health professional. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you deserve support. And there are effective treatments available that can help you find your way back to joy. Embracing purpose and connection is about truly living each moment, rather than simply passing through it. It's about reminding yourself and the world that you are still here, vibrant and valuable. And finally, let's talk about the fifth habit, which often goes hand in hand with some of the others, and that's the over-reliance on remember when living in the past. Now, let me be very clear, nostalgia is a beautiful thing. Our memories are treasures, and sharing stories from our lives is a wonderful way to connect and pass on wisdom. The problem arises when remember when becomes the only gear you have, when every conversation inevitably circles back to how things were, to past glories, past challenges, or past systems, without much engagement in the present moment. While others might initially enjoy a good anecdote, if it dominates every interaction, it can make it difficult for new connections to form, or for younger generations to feel like they can truly relate to you or share their own experiences. It can inadvertently create a feeling that you're not fully present, or that you've mentally retired from the world as it is today. Why does this happen? Often, it's a comfort zone. The past is known, predictable, and perhaps feels safer than a rapidly changing present or an uncertain future. Memories can be a source of pride and identity, especially if we feel our current role is less significant. Sometimes, it stems from a feeling of being left behind or feeling less relevant. So we retreat to a time when we felt more in control or important. But while honoring the past is vital, living only in the past can prevent you from truly experiencing the richness of the here and now, and from making new, beautiful memories. So, how do we find a healthy balance? The first step is to consciously engage with the present. When someone shares something about their day or about current events, really listen and ask questions. Show genuine curiosity about their experiences, their world, and their perspectives. Instead of immediately countering with a back in my day story, try to find common ground or simply offer an empathetic response. For example, if your grandchild is talking about a new video game, instead of dismissing it, ask them, "What do you like about it?" Or, "How does that work?" You might be surprised at what you learn, and you'll certainly strengthen your bond. Next, actively create new memories. This doesn't mean embarking on grand adventures, though if you can. Wonderful. It means consciously seeking out new experiences, no matter how small. Try a new restaurant, visit a museum you've never been to, attend a local concert or community event, or even just take a different route on your usual walk. Each new experience, no matter how minor, adds to your personal story and gives you something fresh to talk about and reflect upon. It shows that you are still growing, still learning, still adding to the tapestry of your life. And when you do share stories from your past, try to connect them to the present. For instance, this reminds me of a time when, and it makes me think about how much things have changed, or how some things stay the same. This bridges the gap between your rich history and the dynamic present. Embracing the now, while cherishing the then, allows you to remain a vibrant, engaging presence, someone others truly look forward to connecting with. So, we've journeyed through 5 often unspoken areas that, with a little awareness and gentle effort, can be transformed. We've talked about transforming the senior shuffle into a confident stride, and the importance of holding yourself tall and proud. We explored how paying a little extra attention to our personal presentation, from hygiene to clothing, isn't about vanity, but about self-respect and radiating comfort. We also looked at shifting from a pattern of constant grievances to embracing curiosity and gratitude, opening up new avenues of connection and joy. And we delved into how to rekindle your spark and connection, fighting off the quiet disappearance by actively seeking purpose and social engagement. Finally, we touched on balancing our cherished remember when stories with a lively engagement in the present, creating new memories and staying vibrantly connected to today's world. Remember, these aren't criticisms, they are invitations. Invitations to step into the most magnificent version of yourself in these golden years. Small changes, consistent effort, and a compassionate understanding of yourself can truly make a profound difference. You have so much wisdom, love, and life to share. And by addressing these subtle patterns, you only amplify that beautiful essence, the surprise I promised you at the end. It's simply this. The most profound transformation doesn't happen because others notice these things about you. It happens because you choose to notice them, not with judgment, but with love and a desire to live your fullest life. When you make these shifts, the biggest change isn't in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself, and the sheer joy and confidence that blossoms from within. That, my friends, is the most powerful surprise of all. I truly hope this conversation has resonated with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Have you noticed any of these patterns in yourself or others? What small changes have you found helpful? Your insights could be incredibly valuable to someone else watching this video. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. We're building a community here dedicated to living our best lives at every age, with practical tips and uplifting conversations. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, live your best life at every age.